Have you ever stopped to think that what you eat every day might be destroying your health without you even realizing it? Well, there are foods that, because they are so common, go unnoticed, but they are wreaking havoc on one of the most important organs in your body, the pancreas. And the worst part is that often we don't even know it's happening. Before we talk about the foods that can harm your pancreas, it's essential to understand what it does in your body. The pancreas is an organ about 15 centimeters long, located behind the stomach, and has functions that often go unnoticed but are essential for our health. First of all, the pancreas is responsible for producing insulin, a vital hormone that controls blood glucose levels. Without insulin, our body cannot metabolize glucose efficiently, which can lead to conditions like type 2 diabetes. In addition, the pancreas also produces digestive enzymes that help break down food in the intestine, facilitating nutrient absorption. Without the pancreas functioning properly, our entire digestive system and glucose control mechanism can be affected. Imagine how this would impact your health over the years. Weight gain, excessive fatigue, risk of metabolic diseases, and even heart problems. In more severe cases, if the pancreas stops working properly, we could face complications such as pancreatitis, a severe inflammation that compromises the organ. Now that you understand how essential the pancreas is for the proper functioning of your body, let's talk about one of the biggest villains to your pancreas health: processed foods. Processed foods are undoubtedly one of the biggest enemies of your pancreas health. The worst part is that often we consume these foods without realizing the damage they're causing to our bodies. Soft drinks, fast food, cakes, industrialized sweets, white bread. The list is long, and unfortunately, these foods are present in most modern diets. These products are high in refined sugars and simple carbohydrates, which, when they enter our body, cause rapid spikes in blood glucose. This increase in glucose demands that the pancreas release large amounts of insulin to control it. When this happens repeatedly, the pancreas becomes overloaded, forcing it to work excessively and, over time, losing its ability to produce insulin efficiently. This constant cycle of glucose and insulin spikes is one of the main culprits behind insulin resistance, which can evolve into diseases like type 2 diabetes. And the impact doesn't stop there. Excessive consumption of processed foods is also linked to inflammatory conditions, including inflammation of the pancreas itself, which can lead to even more serious problems such as pancreatitis or even pancreatic cancer. Now, I know it might be hard to realize how these foods affect our bodies because they are, for the most part, delicious and convenient. But have you ever stopped to think about how much of these foods you consume on a daily basis? How many of these items are on your weekly menu? I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, what's your biggest processed food addiction? Soda, fast food, or something else? Let's exchange ideas on how we can start replacing these villains with healthier options. These foods are not only enemies of your pancreas, but also of your overall well-being. And believe me, the change starts with small decisions in your daily menu. It's time to address a factor that's often ignored, but can be equally destructive: food stress. How does it affect your body? Did you know that it's not just what you eat, but also how your body reacts to what you eat that can directly impact your pancreas health? That's right, food stress is a frequently overlooked factor, but it plays a crucial role in the health of your pancreas and how your body handles food. When we consume foods high in refined sugars, simple carbohydrates, and trans fats, we not only overload the pancreas, but we also put our body into a state of chronic stress. This stress isn't just emotional or psychological, it's physical and directly related to what we put on our plates. Every time we eat foods that cause blood glucose spikes, the body releases a large amount of insulin to compensate. This process makes the pancreas work harder to regulate sugar levels, And as if that wasn't enough, the constant release of insulin can also lead to an increase in cortisol, the famous stress hormone. Elevated cortisol is a natural response to danger or tension, but when it becomes chronic, it can impair the pancreas's ability to function properly. When we're under this kind of physical stress, the pancreas cannot rest and ends up being forced to work continuously. This increases the risk of developing conditions like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and even heart disease. The most insidious part of all this is that the body doesn't always give clear signs that it's overloaded, and the pancreas may be one of the first to suffer without you realizing it. Now I'll ask you, have you noticed that the days you eat processed foods and foods high in sugar are also the days you feel more tired and stressed? Have you noticed a link between what you eat and your energy levels? Comment below. I'd love to know your experience with this. Trans fats are another silent enemy when it comes to your pancreas health. They are found in many processed foods like margarines, fried foods, cookies, cakes, and even ready-to-eat meals. The problem with trans fats isn't just that they are bad fats, but the direct impact they have on various processes in our body, including the pancreas's functioning. These fats are highly processed, and when consumed in excess, they can negatively affect metabolism, promoting insulin resistance. This happens because trans fats increase inflammation levels in the body, which impairs the pancreas's ability to produce and release insulin effectively. In other words, consuming foods high in trans fats can lead to an imbalance in blood glucose levels, forcing the pancreas to work harder than it should to regulate those levels. Additionally, excessive consumption of trans fats is associated with a higher risk of cardiovascular diseases, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. Insulin resistance, which occurs when the pancreas can no longer efficiently handle glucose, is one of the most common conditions resulting from this consumption. Over time, this can lead to serious complications such as heart attacks, strokes, and even pancreatitis. Therefore, if you want to protect your pancreas health and avoid these complications, it's essential to reduce the intake of foods with trans fats and opt for healthier alternatives like unsaturated fats found in avocados, olive oil, and nuts. These fats, unlike trans fats, have a positive effect on your cardiovascular health and pancreas function. Now that you understand how processed foods and trans fats can harm your pancreas, it's time to discover which major food villains you should avoid to protect this vital organ. Soft drinks and sugary beverages. These products are loaded with refined sugars, which quickly raise blood glucose levels. The pancreas then needs to release large amounts of insulin to control these spikes. When this process happens constantly, the pancreas can lose its ability to produce insulin efficiently, which can lead to diseases like type 2 diabetes. Fast food and ultra-processed foods. Fast food like burgers, pizzas, and fried foods are high in saturated fats, sodium, and sugars. These foods not only overload the pancreas, but also generate inflammation in the body, further damaging pancreatic function. The continuous consumption of fast food is also directly linked to problems like obesity and insulin resistance. Refined breads and pastas. Foods like white bread, pasta, and cakes made with refined flour are rich in simple carbohydrates. These carbs quickly raise blood glucose levels, requiring more insulin from the pancreas. Over time, this can cause insulin resistance, one of the main causes of type 2 diabetes. Sweets and industrialized desserts. Cakes, candies, chocolates, and other industrialized desserts are rich in added sugars and provide few fibers and nutrients. Consuming these foods can create a vicious cycle of glucose spikes and constant hunger, leading to weight gain and an increased risk of metabolic diseases. Excessive alcohol. While moderate alcohol consumption is not as harmful, Alcohol abuse can cause serious damage to the pancreas, including alcoholic pancreatitis. Alcohol increases inflammation in the organ and interferes with the production of digestive enzymes, impairing its function. Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, which of these foods do you consume the most, and did you know it could affect your pancreas? Have you thought about reducing or replacing any of these items? Share your experience. By avoiding these foods and choosing healthier alternatives like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, you'll be doing a great favor to your pancreas health. And the best part, you'll also be preventing a number of diseases in the future. Sugar is one of the biggest villains of modern eating, and its excessive consumption has a direct and negative impact on the functioning of your pancreas. But what exactly happens when you consume large amounts of sugar? First, let's understand that sugar is quickly converted into glucose in the blood. When this happens, the pancreas needs to work to release insulin, the hormone that regulates blood glucose levels. If you consume excess sugar, the pancreas starts producing more insulin to control this elevated glucose, putting immense pressure on the organ. Over time, this overload can lead to insulin resistance. This means that the body's cells begin to ignore the signals from insulin, and the pancreas needs to produce even more insulin to try to compensate for this failure. This process creates a vicious cycle of insulin and glucose spikes, which in the long run can result in type 2 diabetes. Furthermore, constant sugar consumption is also linked to increased inflammation in the body, which can affect the pancreas and other organs. Chronic inflammation is one of the main factors that aggravate diseases like diabetes, pancreatitis, and even pancreatic cancer. But what many people don't know is that excess sugar doesn't only come from desserts or soft drinks. Foods that seem harmless, such as breakfast cereals, ready-made sauces, and even industrialized fruit juices, can have a huge amount of added sugars. Therefore, it's crucial to read food labels and understand what you're consuming. To protect your pancreas, it's essential to reduce the intake of refined sugar. Opting for natural sweeteners like stevia, consuming fresh fruits, which despite containing sugar, have fibers and nutrients that help balance glucose, and increasing the intake of fiber-rich foods can help regulate blood glucose levels more effectively. Now that you understand the importance of protecting your pancreas and how the foods we consume can directly affect it, it's essential to adopt eating habits and a lifestyle that promote the health of this vital organ. Reducing the consumption of processed foods, refined sugars, trans fats, and fast food is a key step in preventing diseases like diabetes, insulin resistance, and inflammation in the pancreas. By replacing these choices with foods rich in fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants, and essential nutrients like magnesium and omega-3, you'll not only be protecting your pancreas, but also promoting your overall body health. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to get more health and wellness tips. Oh, and there's another video here on the channel that you'll love. It's showing up on the screen right now. Click on it and keep learning how to improve your health. See you in the next video.